is in the construction of the matrix, right?
So some people say we were blue black. What's the deal with this whole blue black thing? And because you hear a lot about these blue beings.
Okay, so when we are in shades of blue as opposed to shades of brown, the darkest you can get is navy blue.
Right. Okay.
And you know, from the hood, we know what a flip flop paint job is on that lack, rolling on 30s, beaming up the block. We know what that is. So in the daytime, you can clearly see that the car is blue, but as soon as that sun sets, you ain't so sure if it is it chocolate, is it navy blue, is it black?
Yeah, that's facts.
Right.
That's good.
So it's the same understanding of how we would perceive the ones that used to be blue black. That was Kali Ma original pigment. She was navy blue, almost close as you get to black without being black.
Yeah. Did everybody well, not everybody, but what percentage of the population, or did the majority of the population in these pre-Adamite times have elongated skulls, right? That, you know, you keep
so those are a different group. The ones they call Teros. Right. Those are the ones with the cone head. They made a whole skit on Saturday Night Live about cone heads. Right. And Malachi was telling us in the 80s, they talking about the Teros. Well, our memories was suppressed through conjure magic, so we don't know what he's talking about. And when he's showing us the pictures, he sound crazy, but we all done seen a little peanut head ass nigga in the hood with that pointy ass top of his head. That's the genetic leftovers. Then you had the ones like the other side of Yakub family. He was Deros and Danakiel. I mean, Teros and Danakiel. The Danakiel is that the big old, what we call big head nigga. You got that head, the water head. That's what we call him, right? Then the irony is we call him water head, but the condition of the child with excessive water on the head is called hydroencephalia, right? And you know it by the excessively large head because the excess fluid, this is a carryover trait of that blood being in the blood. Then you have the people that was tall and they had excessive hair growth. Today, this called a condition called hirsutism. The ones that was reptilian, when they die and they come back, they don't look like a human yet. They got to go through phases of rebirths and deaths. But the intermediate is called ichthyosis, is the medical condition that described the reptilian before he's all the way been born enough to actualize the part of the DNA that tells you what you're supposed to look like.
Yeah, very interesting. Somebody they want to know about Terrence Howard so bad. Question everything. Send me a $5 super chat. He said, "What about Terrence Howard?"
Let's just straight get to Terrence Howard. Is not crazy. He know what he's talking about. The only reason he just now coming out is because he had to lay eyes on the dirt being done in Hollywood. Once he's seen it, now he see the cleanup activated. He can come out and start focusing on his science.
Right.
But all these, Terrence Howard is an ancient, what you call priest warrior.
Ooh.
He ain't no new soul. He's an old soul.
Right.
Right. And you can always tell because we have this thing where we can absorb characters by the written word alone. They call it reading the script in modern times.
You know what was interesting that he said? Well, one of the things he said that he remembered his birth being in his mother's stomach. Now,
me too.
I was about to say, you said the same shit to me. You said the same shit to me. So when he said that, I was like, yo, Ron said that same shit. So what's the deal with y'all? My first memory, I think, Rob, I think I was like 4. My first memory. What's the deal with y'all remember it being in your mom's stomach? That's some wild shit that a lot of
This
people
it's
can't
wild now. That was the norm.
perform. That
It
was
used to be the norm for us to remember not only being in our mother's stomach, but the flash that takes place at the inception,
yeah.
right? That would open up the gateway from the spirit realm for us to come through the portal of life. We used to remember that because we came in with an open book of life that we reading of a task that we had to accomplish, assigned to us by Prime Creator.
Right. Oh, damn. Yeah, man. It's yo. I swear I love these conversations, man. It like does son. You know what I mean? Like, you know how a nigga watch basketball and it does, and he's excited. Like this shit right here, man. Having these conversations, some excited shit, man. Let me ask you this.
Hold on, Brother Rich.
Yeah,
Go back to that for a minute,
yeah.
right? The number one reason that most of us don't remember our birth is because of the traumatic shock to the optic nerve of the bright ass lights in the delivery room.
I've heard brothers say that. I think in particular, a brother named Illuminati Congo talks about that. So that's okay. Elaborate on that, please. Elaborate on that.
Okay, let's go back to something that we can use for a frame of reference so people will understand the basics to what I'm talking about. Remember Men in Black when they was flashing those people to erase their memory?
Shoot. Yeah.
Right. When you first born, all of your physical senses are extra sensitive for the first like 42 to 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours, right? And if the sooner you come out, the brighter they can hit this light with you, the shock to the optic nerve, it's like a electric jolt to what's known as the nerve center in the brain, the optic center in the brain. When that happens, it shuts down a lot of your memory processing capability because you need the optic nerve for comparative analysis of certain key factors to trigger you to remember who you are. They add on to that, right, with vaccines that also causes autism. They're attacking the brain of the baby coming in.
I don't want this video taken down. Be careful with that. They will snatch this shit in a second, right?
What I say?
No, the V word, the V. They'll snatch this shit, man. So let's the vaccines joint.
Yeah. Anyway, they infusing children with artificial immune systems that's toxic to the biology and belligerent to the biology of the human species, right? And by this artificial immune system that's created in the laboratory is the end run around colostrum. Colostrum is how the mother gives the baby his immune system after he's physically born into the world. To activate it, her umbilical cord needs to be intact until the pair binding process is complete. The pair binding process is not complete until the mother releases the placenta, what they call the afterbirth. And they are consciously aware of this while they're doing it, but the doctors are being taught otherwise.
Yeah, man. Damn, man, this is wild. I remember my son came into the world. That was one of the requests that me and my lady had, was to dim the lights. And when my son, as he got a little older, he says what we would say wild shit. Like, he just talks about, you know, shit that the average child don't talk about. So I guess, you know, that light shit is serious. You know, that is very traumatic, like how y'all say.
Yeah. So when you used to have the doulas and midwives,
we had a doula.
The doulas and midwives used to build a special mud hut with no windows and a very small door. The pregnant mother would be built inside of the hut. And that was to keep as much of the external light from affecting the child. But they would light the room with candlelight. And
Right.
that way they don't have to worry about shocking the psychological development of the newborn child. But in this modern world, everything is designed to be toxic and belligerent to the human. So
Mm-hmm.
they do everything that they know causes problems. And when you start stacking that stuff, it's like a bodybuilder doing a performance stack of steroids right before a show, right?
Mm.
The results are much, much more rapid and more pronounced than if he never took that stack. They
Mm.
stacking us with all kind of poisons and toxins. If we don't get back to growing our own food and going back to communal living in areas, we gonna end up being poisoned out by the system, literally, not figuratively.
So, Ross, so one of the things in this current cycle, I mean, a global thing that we've been taught to hate is blackness. And the darker you are in this world, it almost seems as though the worse you get treated. Globally, it almost seems like, how is everybody on code throughout the whole world? But they are. Wherever you're dark in this world, it almost seems like you go through more shit. And my question to you would be, since we were taught to hate ourselves at a young age as far as our skin complexion and color, another thing that we was taught in this current cycle to be very afraid of is horns. When we think about Lucifer and we think about the horns. So my question to you is, what role did the horns play? We've covered blackness, all the teachers covered blackness and all of that stuff. But what role did the horns play where we come into this world and we see horns? We're like, hell no, get that shit away from me. That shit is some evil shit, right? Talk to me
That's
about horns.
indoctrination.
Yeah.
That's straight indoctrination. The horns, the horns mean one with nature.
Okay.
That's all it means. It means one with nature. I am of the nature of the earth. That's
Yeah.
what the horns really mean. I
Yeah.
think Bobby Hemmett even addressed that before, where he was saying the horns, you got to get it out your head that the devil got horns,
Yeah.
because that's telling you that anybody that practiced the nature science is the devil.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And it's only the nature science that's going to liberate us from man's toxic science and laws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. People. So what about this red color that they assigned to Lucifer? Why red, Rod? Why red? What is it
That's
about?
set.
It's
The
set.
red is set. Set, if you look in the hieroglyphics, was a shade of red. And he was one of the ones in the era who just so happened not to be a shade of blue. Probably one of the first ones to assimilate iron as the prime element. But that's from Set. The word Satan is Set in, which is En in Chemetics is Lord Set. And his stone is the ruby, right? And they call his floor the ruby red floor. It's also in the secret societies the slaughter floor of the human sacrifice, and this is your red shoes and your red bottom shoes um, significance among the so-called elites. They showing you out in the open the ones who walk through the ruby red floor Set, which ties back to the Babylonian blood magic. Here they go. They got to show you who they is, but they don't got to tell you what they symbols mean.
Right, and I had it on mute. Right, indeed, Rod. Let me get to a super chat question real quick. And by the way, somebody had shout out to the people sending super chats. I seen somebody ask about Rod's Cash App. Let me put it on the screen. Y'all always asking about it. Then I'm gonna get to this question on the screen. It's SikApe. Listen, family, if you would like to, for the individual and anybody else who would like to, let me put this on the screen first. Show support to the brother Rod Hayes. You can hit the brother on Cash App, SikApe, SIKAPE. All right, family. You can hit the brother up on Cash App and show some love. We got 2,500 people in here. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. I was outside early. I had to go to my son's school early, so I didn't even get a chance to promote tonight's show. So I'm glad y'all was still able to catch it. Come on. I was out all day. So I'm glad y'all here tonight. Still heavy, still deep. Really appreciate it. Let me yeah, make sure you'll show this brother support though in the Cash App. $SikApe. All right. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Hey, brother Rich, I paid you $20 when you had on Raul Nefa Amen, and you skipped the question. Tonight you have Rod Hayes, another brother, respect. Same question. How many vowels and what are vowels? I didn't skip your question. If I'm not, it's not guaranteed that I get to all questions. I appreciate the super chats, but that doesn't guarantee your question will be asked. When it's time for me to go, I gotta go. So just know that. I don't want y'all to send in a donation and think automatically, you know, when I gotta go, I gotta go. But I appreciate it, brother. But we got to get to your question tonight. Rod Hayes, how many vowels and what are vowels?
It could depend on what language you speak. Anyway, the original alphabet had no vowels. They were all consonants. And no matter what language, you can trace when the vowels was added. For example, in Arabic, you can trace back to the addition of what's called the sun letters, right? Which is the vowels. And the vowels' purpose is to make different people that speak the same language sound the same because of accent and drawl in the pronunciation of words.
Oh.
So they created the vowel to soften up the hard speech of the ancient tongues, right? But the vowel number varies depending on the language.
Wow. That's interesting. All right. Hey Rob, what's the deal with let me get rid of this. What's the deal with people being born with 6 fingers? We talking about birth. I heard that those are the descendants of the Nephilim or the giants, and that's a sign that you come from that or whatever. How do you get born with 6 fingers? What is that connected to, Rod?
Okay, so that's called a vestige limb. It's a throwback to a time when you had your bloodline traces back to somebody who had 6 complete fingers. You still have people born like that today, but because the genetic dominance of the 5 fingers is the prevailing genetic stock, the ones with the 6 fingers now periodically show up as a vestige or leftover of a past genetic stock. You know, a lot of the so-called giants had 6 fingers and 6 toes, right? This is why you had a dozen, 12, and a baker dozen was 10. Now it's 13, right? But all of these changes happen because things have to change. People want stuff to change, but they fight change every step of the way because it's unfamiliar and it's uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. But the same thing is the DNA. Men got nipples, right? And you will hear a lot of people who's naive say, yeah, but they don't produce milk. Look up witch's milk. The mammary gland of the man is functional to produce milk, but because of his biochemistry, the faculty is turned off because it has no survival value for the species.
Damn.
But witch's milk show you that that male or female can both lactate at birth because they are carrying the mother's chemistry into the world before they assimilate their own.
So witch's milk was a name for men's breast milk? Is that
no? Witch's milk is a baby is born lactating. It's called witch's milk.
Okay.
And the reason that the baby is born lactating is because the baby was eavesdropping on the mother, telling her body to produce milk so she could feed the baby. And because the umbilical cord ties him to the bloodstream, the baby, male or female, don't matter, then they get to eavesdrop on mama's conversation with herself.
Damn. Wow. Ooh, what a good
And the body responds.
Yeah. So Rob, we just talked about the six fingers, people born with six fingers, and people, you know, the average person, I guess, is born with five fingers now. And it just made me think about this, Rob, because sometimes they refer to Allah as arm, leg, arm, head. And you know, some people, some gangs, let me use gangs, some gangs represent the 5 point star, some gangs represent the 6 point star. Would the six finger people be tied more to the 6 point star and the no has no connection? All right, yeah, well,
Of the righteous into the land of the wicked. That's what I'm talking about. That real woke shit. Where I know everything they saying as they saying it while they hiding it from everybody else. I translate that shit into English so you'll know what them motherfuckers is saying. Are you woke, or are you ego woke? Fake woke? That's the question of the day. So, mama had me come out here to Great Lakes Crossing. The fuck if I know why. Maybe because it's called Great Lakes and it got cross in the word. Won't be no crucifixion this motherfucking time. I'm the baddest motherfucker ever born. I told you. Like a thief in the night. You didn't see it. You missed it. Now you got one of two choices. Be woke or be fake woke. And then ain't no middle ground. You either the wheat or the goddamn chaff. The chaff is the outer shell of the wheat. The ego of the wheat. Remember? Coming to separate the wheat from the chaff. Remember? You've been hearing it your whole life. Separate the wheat from the chaff. All eyes on motherfucking me. I did every goddamn thing they told you I was gonna do to get you free. But it's one thing they didn't tell you. I'm not gonna do your motherfucking part for you. I did the part I had to do so you had an opportunity to do your own part to get your own self free. Now, it's going to be a lot of these niggas going to be fucked up when these women start waking up trying to fuck them. Because these 9-vote damn niggas is not going to be able to handle no 250-vote ass woman. She going to fry his goddamn neurons. They going to be walking behind and looking for her in broad daylight with an airplane spotlight. Where's she at? Fucked up in the brain because they didn't do their goddamn work. That's their fault, not mine. Did my shit. I balance everything within me so I can help y'all balance everything in you. One motherfucker had to do it. Millions failed. Many are called, few are chosen. High priest, after the order of Melchizedek, the seat was open. I took the test. I passed the test. I am Melchizedek, King of kings, Lord of lords, King of peace. But I will rip your motherfucking head off about these women and these babies. Because we done had enough of that motherfucking shit. So, I had to study physics, nuclear physics, astrophysics, quantum physics. I had to study the life of physicists like Albert Einstein, John von Neumann, Nikola Tesla, Lloyd Quartermain, who y'all don't even know. Y'all still thinking Einstein invented the atomic bomb, but Einstein didn't do nothing but write a goddamn formula on the chalkboard. And it was Lloyd Quartermain and the Manhattan Project and his team of black scientists that actually built the atomic bomb, the two that they dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 1945, August 6th and 9th, 6 to 9, perfect balance, Cancer, Cancerian, influence, the twins, flip back to Gemini, mirror effect. Y'all don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But they all know what the fuck I just said, but you fake woke motherfuckers don't know what the fuck I said, and I just told y'all some jewels. But y'all woke, because y'all God, but y'all not doing no God shit. Because if y'all was gods, you could not be oppressed. It's not possible. I just proved that shit. I went in and got all they shit, took it from them, in their face. Watch what you about to see unfold in the next 72 motherfucking hours. Watch this shit. I came and got all they motherfucking keys in their face, according to the rules of the game that they wrote. Because if you don't know the rules to this motherfucking shit, you can't get out of it. I don't care how much fake woke your ass think you are. You fake woke. You ain't woke. How many of you motherfuckers know that Ted Turner and motherfucking Vince Kennedy McMahon was giving me reference points with the Monday Night Wars and able to know where we was at in the fight against the motherfucking deep state, aka the cabal? None of y'all ain't even fucking know it. You see? And so they got y'all thinking along one line, but y'all don't know how they tell the story. Y'all don't know how to flip the mirror imagery when they talking in mirrors. And y'all don't know how to flip the codes out of the motherfucking sentences when it's tickering across the news line. When they talking to each other, you reading that shit and don't know what the fuck you read. That fake ass news shit. So they told me that they needed me to be confirmed today out of the Blue Lodge coming out of my home motherfucking local. Where was some Lodge brothers there. They told me the message in the arrest of the 3 individuals for the assassination of the witness and the police that got 10 years. All that shit was fucking scripted, coded. That was pure fuckery, skullduggery. And y'all all run around woke. But y'all talking about that motherfucking dog and pony show. He was fucking that girl and he ain't dead. You silly motherfuckers. Since y'all woke, right in y'all face they play that game. But you woke. And then you get angry at me and call me crazy for pointing this shit out because you fake woke. Check yourself. Ice Cube, Flip the Master. Check yourself or you wreck yourself. Playing these games is bad for your motherfucking health. I paved the way for everybody to get out. It's simple now. My ticker saying 22 views. Master status. Woke. Or fake woke. So I had to study Egyptology, archaeology, anthropology, ancient history, modern history, revisionist history, early American history, ancient American history, Native American history, cultic history, Celtic history. I had to study the history of the Norsemen. I had to study the history of the Irishmen. I had to know who the fuck is all these people on this goddamn planet, where they come from, and why in the fuck we gotta keep killing each other like some goddamn insane, ravenous animals. Well, I found the answers. Divide and conquer. As long as we fight against each other, we can't get rid of the real enemy. So that's why y'all all programmed. Y'all fake woke motherfuckers is programmed to fight every goddamn thing I'm saying. And then they got the rest of y'all programmed with the fear to tell a motherfucker that you heard the coldest motherfucker on the motherfucking planet talking. You got to hear this shit. You don't want to do that. Because then you scared that the motherfucking system gonna crash on you. I just told you I got all the keys. See, I had a union meeting, and I went in there and I heard a lady with her voice shaking. Fear. But she still spoke in fear. But she still said something about an injustice. And I looked around, and everybody looked stupid. Well, at the time, I didn't know they were stupid for real. I honestly didn't know all of these educated people was educated fools. I didn't know that. But as I watched the dog and pony show play out at the Union Hall, I realized that none of these motherfuckers don't got a clue at all. Very few of them can afford to buy a vial. What the fuck is they doing? Is what I'm asking. So I'm watching this shit. And I said to regional representatives in my local, anybody have a recovery plan in place for the worker? I had already put my plan in place like back in 98. It's a long drawn out script that had to be taken care of. But the plan they didn't have. I had a plan. You see, the condition of working people the world over is unnecessarily obnoxious to the rules of fairness, equity, justice, and balance. The laws of Mott say that all of these people working should be properly compensated for their labor. But the people don't understand the level of compensation they deserve because they don't know their value. The only reason they have no clue of what their value is because the educational system teaches them to be self-defeated and to devalue the self. It's a sickly. If the educational system worked, there would be no need for prisons. There would be no need for prisons. All prisons would fail. There would be no need for prisons if education worked. How do you know this? It was a time, less than 300 years ago, there were no prisons. We had other means of dealing with what they call a rogue criminal element. So I asked these people, who has a plan, and they all look stupid. So I made a plan, but I'm crazy. I made a plan. I picked 3 badass CEOs. That's what I did. I leveraged Bitcoin gold stocks to back it by gold so that I can leverage the gold to overtake the fiat currency that wasn't backed by anything. So right now, while you thinking that GM is suffering, they actually making money by the fall of the fiat currency. It's designed for you to be on a prolonged strike for 2 reasons.